All right, we're live. What is up, everybody? Welcome to lap 25 of the Motivation Theory Run Club. On the move today. On the move. Baseball practice. Getting it in. Getting it in. It's going to take a little bit for everybody to get here. I haven't sent out any notifications. Got my towels back here for after baseball practice. So we'll get sweat up my seats. How's everyone doing? Oh, man, I'm excited. Just released a video today giving my week 36 update in my couch to ultra marathon comeback. I'm 12 days out from my 12-hour race. Super excited. Trying to figure out how I can live chat here so I can see if anyone is in here. If you are here, welcome to the live stream. Sorry I'm late, everybody. About 10 minutes late today. Sorry about that. If you are here, type something in the chat for me so I can see that everything's working. Hopefully you can hear me. It's always a pain when I'm doing this on my phone, mobile. If I try to share anything, I know last time that it cut everything out. Looking good, thank Jay. Welcome to the stream. Have to wait for a lot of the folks from the Motivation Theory Run Club. Maybe some of them can share this to the club, the Strava club, because if I do it, it shuts the stream down. So I won't be doing that. Today, like always, I think we're just going to be doing my car and park. In a parking lot. We're going to be Q&A, hanging out, talking about whatever's going on. That's what we're going to be talking about. Probably going to take several minutes for folks to show up here. So per the update, I'm in week 37. I haven't run it all yet this week. Monday is my off day. We celebrated Labor Day, cooked some low country boil for the family. Healing up from the weekend. I feel great. My legs feel strong. I'm looking forward to the races I have coming up. I'm looking forward to the 12-hour that's coming up, and I'm more than likely going to be doing the Marine Corps 50K, virtual 50K, sometime in October, possibly beginning of November. I'm not sure when the deadline is for that. So I'll be doing that, which I should be pretty ready for after all this training and running this 12-hour race. Let me try to block some of the sun here. Holy smokes. There we go. So welcome to the stream, everybody. I don't think I can see who's actually in here without closing everything out. What's that? Oh, I can change the look of the stream. I won't be doing that. I tell you, I'm not a huge fan of the mobile app here on your phone. Not a huge fan. I need to hook up. I got Streamlabs on my phone, but I've not used it for streaming yet. I've only used it to control the live stream on the computer, so I won't be using that. So if you're here to say hello, and that way I can welcome you. Still not sure how to get everybody in to show up. Let's see what we got here. Still trying to click around here. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We got Jay in here. Can't see who else is here. If you are in here and you're part of the Motivation Theory Run Club, if you could share this stream on Strava, that would be fantastic. Again, I don't want to do that because it will shut the stream down for us if I do that. So what else is going on? So my training this week, I'm probably going to stay in the 30s. I'll probably stay maybe 35 miles this week. I'll probably maybe only do I don't know, a 10-mile run this weekend, maybe just one of those. Yeah, I started late, Frank. Baseball practice. There was a conflict. We're now starting the what do they call it? Fall season. The summer ball ended, and then we had like a week or so off, and now fall ball started. Same team, aged up, so that's what I'm dealing with now. So I had to drive to practice. They don't typically have practice on Tuesdays, so this was out of the ordinary. So I had to kind of jump on haphazardly here late. Frank said, baseball is the sport where you can't tell when it's going to end. um, well, yeah, you got innings. Innings tell you when it's going to end. I guess that, you know, depends on how many outs and stuff like that. Yeah, you never really know. It's like anything else. It's not timed for the most part. Well, some of these games are timed. That's not true. So in younger ages, they usually have like a 2 hour limit, depending on the type of tournament or the game itself. It's a championship; it can't end in a tie, so they'll do certain things to make it end quickly. Uh, but yeah, you know when it's going to end. Baseball's my sport. I love baseball. Grew up playing football, baseball, golf, track. Good times. That's the first time I've ever heard somebody refer to baseball like that. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I watch a lot of baseball, so that's what I spend most of my time. That's where I got this outstanding farmer's tan, well, from running in, sitting in base, watching baseball. But I have done some things this year that are things I've never done before. Like I ran 12 miles around a baseball, two baseball games. First time I've ever done that in my life. And everyone thought I was crazy for doing so, but it was a lot of fun. Again, if you're just joining me, I started late today. Mobile, we're in the car, practice. I'm not able to share. Ow, my foot. I'm not able to share the live stream right now. So if somebody from the Run Club wants to share in the Motivation Theory Run Club on Strava, that would help notify some of those folks that we are live. Or it's not going to send out any notifications, which is a problem on YouTube. So I'll give it a couple more minutes, and if we don't start getting notifications out, I might just wrap it up. Frank, you got your message out. I saw you refer. So I'm afraid to click on anything. It's all going to shut down right now. Um, so this past week, I actually really enjoyed the last week of running. Like I said in my update today, was actually very enjoyable. The temperatures have come down to a point where I'm enjoying running outside. The humidity has dropped a significant amount, which it just makes running so much more enjoyable. So I'm really getting excited for winter, for fall, into winter. That's when I feel the best. My body reacts the best in the colder temperatures. Like for me, in the 40s is perfect. Here too, yeah. It's been very very nice. It's like I think yesterday I was doing a bunch of yard work, and it really felt like fall was not 100% here, but I kind of got that smell, leaves, and kind of the 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 removal of the humidity kind of made it smell like fall a little bit. So I was kind of excited about that. Um, I'm always excited about racing in the fall, but I don't know how many races are really going to be in the fall. Like the shorter races, that's always uh, been an issue. You typically a time when I do the Marine Corps Marathon um, and the JFK, and the JFK is one of my favorites, like the Super Bowl to me every year. I'm not sure I'm going to do it this year, just because it was such an expensive race and I wasn't 100% sure that it was actually going to happen. Uh, so we'll see. We'll see how I feel, and if there's still some open slots in that, because I'd still love to do the JFK 50. It's such an awesome race. And that race is very cold at the beginning. When they take you from the elementary school down to the starting line, it's quite cold. And I think it's sometimes I've been there, it's been like -3. I think Frank, the status of the JFK, I think they're still on. I have not heard anything to lead me to believe that the JFK was not happening. But one of the things that concerns me now with the races getting canceled, I'm starting to see this race insurance. And if you guys know anything about this race insurance, all these races now on the sign up page, I don't know where all these race insurance companies have come from, but to me it seems sketchy because I don't really read anything in their agreement that says they're going to cover it if it's because of a COVID related cancellation. They say it's, injury, all kinds of other things, but there's nothing that I see that really makes me feel good about that. Jay said cooler temps will be great if it stays that way for your race. Always an unknown until the start. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to is the cooler temperatures with that race. I'm hoping that we don't get a uh, a 90-degree day where it's like it's going to shoot back up to summer for a day or so. Um, yeah, that happens sometimes in the Marine Corps marathon. Like it will start off super cold, and by the end of the day, it's like in the high 60s. Which in a marathon, it really feels like 100 degrees after those cold mornings. Frank said you get Indian summers in VA, though, right? Not sure what that is. Is that like a summer, the summer that kind of we'll have days here and there that will spike up. Um, I can't really remember. There are days that the only reason I really kind of remember that is because sometimes the Marine Corps, I'm gonna say the Marine Corps Museum, the Marine Corps Marathon will have days that are unseasonably hot, which they always send out notifications because you have a lot of people that are undertrained, and there's a lot more to look out for in these hot races, especially if it starts to get up in the 70s and 80s. People are just not used to running at that in that, so they have to look out for people. Hey, Goku Runner, what's going on, man? We're ad hoc today, just baseball practice and throwing up a live stream while I'm in the car or chat with you guys for a little bit. Um, so yeah, there's a possibility in 2 weeks, the 19th. So yeah, 2 3 weeks, 2 weeks actually, that we could hit a hot day. I don't know. It's probably going to get at least into the 70s by the end of the day, which will start to drastically wear on people. So the morning will be cool, and you'll probably be able to crank out 30 miles before it gets too bad, and then the temperatures at the end of the day just start to wear on you. So hopefully I can get it in before then. I can get a majority of my mileage in before then. Hey, Recycling Wednesday, what's going on? Good to see everybody. Sorry for the lack of communication on this. It completely slipped my mind with the Frank's. That's a racist term for a warm period that happens in the fall that gives you the impression that things are going to stay warmer. Oh, gotcha. That's what I figured through context. I've never referred to it as that. Um, so yeah, I answered correctly. We do have that occasionally. I hope we don't have that. The funny thing is when I think was it last year that the Marine Corps Marathon had all the years that I've run it. I've run 8 years, I believe. Um, not an ounce of rain. And then I think last year they had like a foot of rain. There's like they show people are like around I think mile 13 where it goes out into the tidal basin area. Like we're running in like a foot of water. I couldn't even imagine. That's insane. Running a marathon in that. But I've always really hoped that it didn't rain because to me, running a marathon in the rain is just miserable. So much chafing is going to happen. It's going to be brutal. So I hope it doesn't rain, and I hope it's at least below 60, at least at the start. So I'm hoping those are two things I really hope for the race coming up. That will help my day quite a bit. Um, so I'm trying to think of what else that I can discuss. I discussed most everything. Hey, Mickey, welcome to the stream. Hey, Jay. Jay said later season warm weather has been more common of late. Um, yeah, Yeah, I'm not 100%. I mean, I'm about 50-50 to think that it's gonna be a hot day, 'cause 2 weeks is not that far away. But it's like right now it's 85 degrees, and it's 5:30 in the afternoon. So it's very possible, and more likely, that we're probably going to hit into the 80s, unless we start to significantly creep into the fall. Uh, but either way, I'm going to have fun. That's one of the things I've talked about is, these type of races are going to be fun to me. They're not as much stress as a point to point, like the JFK 50 is stressed, Belmonte is stressed. Like you're worried about cutoffs, um, which I'm sure on any point to point race, you're really stressing the cutoff. So I don't have to worry about that in a timed kind of an interloopal race. Don't have to worry about the cutoffs. I'm just you go until you want to stop. So um, it's kind of like the stress of when I ran my treadmill 50K. There was a little stress that I was doing it live and in front of people, so the fear of failure was a little high there. That if something were to happen, that I would be doing it live and with an audience. But that also helped motivate me to push through. Um, but this race, I have some goals that I have set and hope that I can get there. But at the end of the day, if things just go south, which I'm not expecting them to, it's not a huge deal. It's my own personal failure. It's not like a DNF where you get yanked off the course. So I'm not too worried about that. So I have no nerves. I have expectations. I'm excited. I'll have some nerves in the morning, and more of my nerves come from just making sure that I have everything I need. I'm not nervous about the race. I'm not nervous about the laps, because as soon as I get out on the trails, it's like home. I'm not even going to worry about that. It's more about just making sure that I have, all of my stuff, my, the needs, the socks, the food, the nutrition, the hydration. I'm going to do my best to stay away from all of the aid station stuff, that you're allowed to do your own aid from your car. That's one of the things they say you can do. So I'm probably going to be doing that. I'll probably just have my car set up as my aid station, come around, and I'll probably be less likely to hang out, uh, less likely to be around other people. Mickey said you're going to do fine, just fine. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm hoping so. I think it'll be fun. I mean, either way, this is one of the things to me that I'm not stressing it at all. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to just kind of see where my fitness is, kind of where my mind is. More about my mind, because having done ultras a bunch of times, I know where I can get physically. It's just the only thing that really worries me is that there's a potential that maybe my mind isn't as strong as it used to be. That because doing ultras is mostly mental, and you don't really notice that until you can't realize it until you actually do it. Until you realize and come out on the other end, um, you don't notice that. My screen's kind of going dark here. Hey, Kelly. Kelly said, "Hey, all finishing up. Hey, right now, might not be able to participate, but I'll be listening." Jay said, "I think it's going to go well for you. Familiar trail, good training, and shade. Yeah, the shade. There'll be lots of shade. Mommy's box says, as long as you have a good time and give it your all, you're a winner. Have faith. You got this. Thank you. I appreciate that." Kelly needs a YouTube channel either for stacking hay, farming channel, the running farmer. Coming up with names. Yeah, I appreciate all of the well wishes and everyone rooting me on. That feels great. Just so you guys know, there's always that pressure to have to report back to everybody, that accountability, and it's actually a good thing to have that accountability. Uh, if I'm out there and I'm like, I don't want to do one more lap, and then I decide to, because I know I'm gonna have to go back to tell her. But they're like, John, you had 2.5 hours. You could have got another lap in. I know I'll have to answer for that. Mommy's box says hay season is real. My nose is feeling it. Yeah, allergies are really bad right now. My wife is suffering terribly right now. So is my son Chase. He's not happy. He's a knucklehead. He won't take his allergy medicine. Kelly said, "Hey, Wednesday, nobody needs a whole lot. to see me limping around unloading 200 bales of hay with a bloody toe. Recycle on Wednesday said, we'd watch. Yeah, we would. I would love to heckle you on your channel. That'd be great. My motto: slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Mickey, that's absolutely true. How long I made that word? Absolutely. Kelly said, you totally have this, John. Besides the fear of reporting back to us that tell us that you didn't give it your all, will keep you going. Absolutely. Mommy self, my man won't take allergy meds either. Yeah, I can't get my son. I don't know what his problem is. Hey, Joe, welcome to the stream. Yeah, there's accountability. There's something to be said for accountability. I've talked about that a lot. When you feel like you have to answer to somebody, or you've said it, it makes it real. And you know, this channel helps me as much as I think that I help others, if not more. Knowing that I talk all of this, I talk about my plans. It's all out there. It's transparent. Makes it real. Makes it very, very real. I mean, I've had people in my real life come up to me and say, "You ran a 50K on live on camera," and like I didn't even think about it, just did it. Like I didn't. If I thought about it too much, I wouldn't have done it. But I thought that was really cool to do that. Frank said, "It's not like a real target race. You haven't really gotten a straight up training block in. Basically, anything you do will be good." Yeah, and that's Frank's is absolutely right there. Hey, Goku, I got the thank you, man. I appreciate that. Is this my favorite shirt now? No, I filmed in it yesterday and it was still clean. So I just wore it again because I was planning on doing a little bit of running today, but I don't know if I'm going to make it in because I didn't. I thought I had running shoes in here and I didn't. I have flip flops on now. So failure on my part. Joe said, I've told a bunch of people I don't want the embarrassment. So hopefully it'll be in the back of my mind. Absolutely. It really does. So to talk a little bit to Frank's point about not having real training block in. So one of the things I in my mind, I haven't talked a ton about for this year was really about building my base. It wasn't so much really trying to get a bunch of training blocks in to race hard. Like it took me years to kind of build up the base where I was before, and having to lose weight and also try to get prepared for a race is just tough. It is really tough. So I didn't want to put the added pressure on myself by saying I'm going to do a training block. I'm going to do this hardcore thing and I'm going to stick to it. Goku making fun of my shirt. Um, so this year was more about just getting out, getting in shape, losing the weight, and just getting a good base back underneath me again, where I feel confident to actually complete a training block without getting injured. One of the biggest things that worried me coming back this year is that I was going to get injured, because I knew me that if I tried to really stick to a training plan, I was going to try to stick to it and not veer from it, and I was going to push too hard and injure my foot, which I've done that in the past. So there's just a lot of things I just worried about. Being 44, it's not like I'm 30. I wanted to make sure that I did it safely and slowly. What I always preach in this channel, that I had to put the ego aside and not really worry about it. This year, I've done exactly what I wanted to do. I've taken my time. I've been working on my base, getting my mileage up, feeling comfortable. I've hit 50 something miles several times. And eventually I'm gonna get there again. And I think that's the smart way to do it, and not try to push myself because I'm on camera, which is really easy to do. I could really go push myself. I really try to stick to the paces that I think that I should be sticking to, and we'll see what happens. Go back here and catch up in the chat. Mommy's box said 50K is amazing. I have a hard time running around the block. However, since I stopped smoking at the beginning of the year, congrats on that. That's awesome. I can breathe better, so maybe it would be possible to run some. Absolutely. Congrats. Major props on quitting smoking. I know how hard that is. Mickey said, agreed, Frank. A lot of people in that same boat, I would guess. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do a real training block this year when you just don't know when races are going to come and things get canceled. Everything's just kind of all over the place this year. but that wasn't necessarily the reason I didn't stick to a training plan. Mommy's house said slow and steady wins the race. Absolutely. Joe Kern said, I've been putting in miles, but I'm worried I haven't been able to do enough miles in the woods. While it is important, I don't think people should really get wrapped up in all that stuff. See, the reason that I started the channel was really I've talked about this before. It's kind of demystifying the ultras. People really put a lot. They fear it a lot more, and basically what I try to tell people is don't fear it. If you don't get all the miles you need in the woods, is it going to hurt a little bit more? Probably. Are you going to not be as prepared? Probably. Can you still do it? Yes, you still can. That's where the mental part comes in. Can you mentally accept the repercussions of some of the lack of training? And if you know that you can push through, if you know that your mind is strong enough to push down the doubt and the fear and the pain, and you can get through it, you'll do fine. I mean, you're the only one that pulls the plug on you. If you go slow enough, I mean, somebody else will, because you'll get caught up on the cutoffs. But just don't put a ton of pressure on yourself. That doesn't help either. The anxiety and the stress, it doesn't help. But I do know what it's like to fear the unknown. And first 100 is a super intimidating race. So, I mean, I can see why, but you're going to do great. Frank said, does the vert you've been doing match the race profile? Yeah, if you're getting a lot of vert in, that definitely helps, especially if even if it's not specifically matching the trail, as long as you're getting a lot of vert in, if there's a lot of vert in the race, I mean, that will definitely help. Yeah, Posner's killing it. Frank's killing it this week too, for mileage wise. Joe said the vert I do is similar, but I have to run the neighborhood when I don't have time. Yeah, I think I'm the same way. Frank said, you're still doing a poll video. Is that to me? If it is, I don't know what that means. Mickey, ex-smoker myself. Mommy's boxes. Yeah, I smoked back in college too. So it was a very small part of my life, but my dad smoked when I was growing up. Terrible habit. Recycling says I massively misunderstood for a second. Trekking poles. Oh yeah. Okay, review of the Black Diamond poles. I've run in them so far. I ran one run in them. I think I ran 1 6.5 mile run in them. Pole dancing, yeah. Yeah, I'm not an expert on the pole dancing. I probably won't do one of those videos. It'd probably be humorous though. So the Black Diamond pole, yeah, I want to get more time in them to kind of really give an opinion. To me, the first time taking out isn't a fair assessment, because I'm used to not running. I'm a very minimal runner. I'll run with my Ultimate Direction pack or nothing or some handhelds. It's the first time I've ever run. Arlene said you tried the poles this week in the Lecky poles. Yeah, so I found it to kind of be a pain at first. They're super light. I mean, the poles are really well constructed. I think I was really thinking that they would easily snap together with the Black Diamond ones, and I can't remember the exact name. Frank, you might be able to remember the full name of them. I just can't pull it off the top of my head. But what you have to do is you have to grab the pole and pull it down, and it kind of locks them all together. That's kind of a pain to deal with when you're on the race. So I don't use them the whole time. There's only certain sections that I would use them. I tried to use them a bunch just to see how I could benefit from them a little bit more than just maybe climbing. So I would take them back apart, and hold them in my hands and run with them. They're super light, super light. So that wasn't a huge deal. It is cumbersome though, because I had to run with my hands still in the straps like that, because your hands have to go a certain way in the strap, so it kind of takes pressure off your grip of your hand. That was kind of cumbersome to deal with. I think it's something you get used to, so that's probably not a huge deal. It probably wouldn't be as bad if the climbs I had were a lot longer and it made it almost worth holding them. Arlene said they generally slow me down, but I think they would be good on climbs and descents. Yeah, I found some ways to use them that I think would be beneficial, especially as I start to tire. But there's part of me that thinks that maybe I should use them early in the race, because I can really see the benefit of running with them, even on some smaller inclines, declines for balance, to feel a little more confident. I just I wasn't a huge fan. It wasn't like when I ran with them, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna run with these every single time. Outside of a race, at least where I run. Now, if I was gonna do a different race like Western States, well, they don't know if they only let you use them. Goku said poles saved my butt many times. Yeah, I could see the benefit. I could definitely see the benefit. To me, the type of personality that I am, I get frustrated really quickly. They saved you from falling. Well, that's definitely a good thing. With things that are just as things get harder and harder and harder, my mind has less and less ability to deal with certain things. So things will irritate me quicker, like repetitive sounds, rubbing. Just there's a lot of things that I just don't have a lot of patience for when you start to get raw from dealing with a race. So dealing with the trekking poles makes me feel like if I have to do it on that lap, I'm gonna have to keep breaking them out, putting them together, making sure my hands are in the thing. It just seems almost like a pain. Arlene said the water crossings at the end of the long run, they keep me from slumping forward. They probably, I mean, I definitely see some benefits. It's just I have to get used to putting them out and breaking them down. That seemed to be kind of a pain in the butt. And it felt like I was spending more mental energy dealing with the poles as I was using them in that one lap. And again, 6.5 miles, not a huge sample to use them for to make any huge judgments on the benefit. I do think they did benefit me, though. I do think that I did better on that run having used them. I think they saved my legs. I think they probably put a little more stress on my shoulders, and that's probably just me not using them correctly at certain points. So I'll get them down. We'll see. We'll see how it is. I'll probably use them for this race, and I'll give my real uh, backed up with some more data opinion on whether or not they're good. But first instance of using them, I think they're kind of annoying just to take apart and put back together. And but I think they have a huge benefit. Frank said the good thing about the loop is you can just have them and decide to take them for a loop and leave them behind. Yeah, that is good. So I thought about that. So from a logistics planning, being able to leave them for a lap if I just don't want to deal with it. But if I don't want to deal with them for the first 3 or 4 laps, but then I want to start, I could want to carry them with me. They have, and so I haven't had a ton of time to really do all the research. I didn't want to go buy another um, vest that you could strap them across the front. I think that would be beneficial. I've seen people do that, but I don't want to put them in the back. I hate having to take off my pack to get to anything inside my pack unless it's something I really, really have to get, because that's another annoying thing for me to just have to take the pack on and off. So we'll see. Arlene said the PAPSCO 50 has a river crossing and steep hills. I think I will take them for that if the race doesn't cancel. Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely have a huge benefit for stability. I liked running down hills with them. It almost felt like I was skiing. I almost felt silly at first because I was running down the hill and I was kind of just bombing the hill a little bit using the poles to kind of gain some balance. That felt kind of cool because I love skiing, so it kind of felt like that. Um, I'm trying to make sure that when I go uphill that I'm not relying on them too much and putting too much pressure on my neck and shoulders, for the first time I went out. So I think they're huge. I think it's gonna be good. Recycle on Wednesday said, "What is the folding mechanism you said, but I didn't hear?" Me? You know what? Hold on. I think I think I got them in here. Hold on a second. Hold on one second. I'm going to grab the poles. Ah, here you go. I forgot I had them in here. Yeah, so these poles right here, these are the Black Diamond Distance Carbon Z. These are the 130 centimeter long ones. So they have some really, I forget what they said this is made of inside of this cable. But basically, I can't get far enough away. You grab this top part, and when it's dropped down, you push it down, and it locks like that. So now the pole's locked. It's got a button. Never thought I'd be doing a demo in my car with this. It's got a button right here. Just kind of as a review, and you press that, and it goes back down. The part that is annoying is when I go to push this part down, that locks in. That's fine. It's a pain in the butt here, but when I go to undo that to take them apart, when I push this in after locking in, if I separate this too much, now there's not enough slack down here to pull, and they won't break apart. So, which is fine when I have two open hands. It's when I'm holding another one and trying to do it, and these things are wrapped in my hands like this. So I got this one wrapped in here, and I'm trying to work with all that. That's kind of a pain, but these things are super light. I don't even know how to explain how light this is. I mean, Arlene said the Lucky poles I have a button also. The height is adjustable, 130. Yeah, these were ordered 130. I don't think these are adjustable. You have different heights you can buy, but I don't believe these are adjustable. I think this was like $165 or something like that. It comes with different points on them. You can change out. I think it's got some carbon fiber or some sort of points that go on them, but really tough. I mean, the material that it's made out of, there's no rattling. I didn't have any rattling going down the trail, which was really good. But see, easy. I mean, it's easy. When these lock out, there we go. When those lock out, you just hit that button that slides down a little bit. It gives you the slack, and if you pull too much out like that, you just gotta. Non-adjustable is better if they fit you right. Yeah. So from what I've read, having the one that's the right height for you that doesn't adjust is good, because I think eventually they start to. Sorry if this camera's crooked. They start to slip. I think because you have to worry about tightening them. So if you get one and you got to adjust the height and mess with it, I don't think that would be. I think that would kind of be a pain. That's what I didn't want. I didn't want one that would start to slide down and then I got poles down by my hips. These are 130, so they have on the height chart. So if you're in a middle, what is that? Well, that doesn't look good. Sorry, I'm just looking at what's showing here, and I'm just seeing that part come out. Haven't seen it down here. All right, I don't want to break these poles, but there's a part coming out that I haven't seen before. Is that the same on this one? Sorry, guys, I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, okay, it does it on this pole too. All right. But I think these whole things are less, like a little over a pound. What is the cable material? I wish I had the pole. It's a super hard material. I can't remember what the cable material is. Mickey said, I imagine that the incline angle makes a difference. Yeah, I think it does, depending on if you're going uphill. So, I think your mileage may vary with how you use them, how you leverage your weight going up the hill. All right, come on now. Liam, welcome to stream. What'd you miss? All kinds of stuff. I'm mobile today. I got baseball practice with my son. So Frank said you can certainly run 26.2 miles without hurting. Most people who can do that would not call that running a marathon. Big Flat said, if you're running, say, a marathon, do you necessarily feel hurt, or is it possible to do relatively pain-free? Um, and I've also been going over the Black Diamond Carbon Z distance poles here. I like them. They're really well made. So I definitely think they're probably uh, worth the money. Just how I see them made, they're really well constructed. So and I think Frank answered this, but depending on how you run a marathon is going to how much you've trained will determine a lot of how much something will hurt. The better trained you are, the better shape you are, the less a marathon will hurt after. I'm talking about after. If you run a 5K, you can make a 5K hurt from just running it really, really, really hard. And that's what I always try to tell people when people say, well, I only run a 5K or I only run a 10K. And I say, don't ever put only in front of it because it doesn't matter. If you run a race really, really hard, it will hurt. It will hurt. It will burn, lactic acid, all that stuff happens. But I do know a difference from when I first started running marathons, how I would feel the day or two after was much, much different than when I started running a bunch more mileage training for ultra marathons. So when I was running ultra marathons and I ran 26.2 miles, I could walk the next day and not be that sore just because, again, it's relative to the miles that you've run. Your running never stops hurting. You just get faster. Yeah. So if you're talking about the damage and the feeling, the soreness after, the better shape you are, the faster you will heal, and the less of that after um, soreness would be. So I got to the point where I loved when I could run a marathon and not be really sore the next day. Um, I also didn't run them 100% either. I started using marathons as kind of a training run where I would run them, probably 85, 90%. But that's probably why I wasn't as sore as I probably should be. But again, it just depends on how good a shape you are. And like Frank says, running never stops hurting. Really, if you really push it, it never really stops hurting, depending on what you think hurting is. Joe Kern said, I struggle with more than a 5K than I do with a half marathon. The 5Ks are hurt, man. Big Flat says, I'm giving myself eight years to do under 4 hours. When 60 did 8 miles, 1 hour 10. I'm consistent training another 4 hours. So yeah, you gotta get the miles on your belt. Arlene said, tart cherry juice after will help with the soreness. Also ginger it. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Yeah, 5Ks are brutal. When you start talking about the pain, like I would rather go on a 10-mile run. Like right now, if I thought like someone said you have to run a 5K as hard as you can right now, or just go run a 10 miles, I would choose to go run 10 miles. Because 5Ks take it's again, it's mental. Pushing that, that lactate threshold and really pushing that hard for, you got to think, the fastest I've ever run one was, I think, 22 minutes. And that was excruciating as I started to get in the running, and then I started finding longer and longer distances, and I said, well, those are easy to train for. So I never really continued to try to run faster, but it still says my fitness is right around that where I could still run that, and I do not look forward to trying to run that because it hurts. Big Flat said, do you use cross training to take stress from the body? I use cross training to help strengthen the body. Cross training makes you a better runner, a well-rounded, tougher runner, more least susceptible to injury if you're cross training. Aerobic versus anaerobic uses muscles in different way. Absolutely, absolutely. When I ran track, I was a sprinter. So again, like I've told the story before, I didn't like a mile was ridiculous. A mile sounds like 10 miles to most people to me in high school. Um, I ran the 100, I ran the 200, I ran the 440 relay. I did long and triple jump, and high jump. I also did discus and shot put. I did a lot of events, but 200 was the farthest I ever ran. I remember thinking of 400 was like the worst pain in the world. Sprinting 400 meters was so unbelievably hard. Big Flat said, over COVID, I have been cycling and can notice a big difference. Yeah, I mean, anything you can do to be active is going to be super beneficial and make you feel much better. I definitely feel a ton better being, 41 pounds, 41-ish pounds lighter than I was in January. And I don't know if you guys can tell my beard, but like when I go back and look at the videos, when I go back and just kind of look at what I was talking about at the beginning of the year, it's crazy. My face look, first off, super pale and a lot rounder. I don't know if you guys can see it because you guys see my face all the time, but I just don't go back and look at those old videos too often. But when I do, it's shocking to me. Joe Kern said, I ran a 10K this weekend, 52 minutes. I was real happy about that until I saw the guy in front of me was 73 years old. Big Flat said, you have lived it really fantastic. Goku Runner said, could you dunk a basketball? I could dunk a volleyball. I couldn't dunk a basketball. Have I told that story on here? When I was in 8th grade, so I grew really quickly. I was 6 foot in 8th grade. And you look at pictures of me, and I'm like a foot taller than everybody. I was dunking softballs. I was dunking volleyballs. I was just right there with the basketball, and I'm like, I'm going to be dunking basketball by the time I'm a senior. It was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, I'd never jumped any higher. It just stopped. I don't know what happened. And I didn't work on it hard. I mean, when I went to high school, I really was a football and baseball guy. So that's where my energy went. And Joe, it's funny you said that. I tried to explain this to people who think runners have a body type or runners are a certain type of person. While for every person that looks like Seth James Demar 110 pounds, super fast, the guy is an elite runner. You go to a marathon, you'll be passed by people that you would swear have never run a day in their life. I have been in marathons where I have people passing me that I'm just like, holy smokes. That's when I started to realize, you know, what building endurance and speed is. It's not a body type. You can still be successful, even in your own right, in running, if you put the work in. It's not a body type, and a lot of people get wrapped up in that. And you run the JFK 50. You're going to see people that have been running it for 30 years. There's some old vets guys that have been running it since the beginning. Just big guys. They're not really in shape anymore, but mentally they can go out. They can go out and run they can run those 50 miles. Uh, Years ago, I think the second time I ran it, I was running next to this guy, and I think if you had on the back that it was like his 32nd year of running the JFK 50. He's a big older vet. He's probably 70 out of something, 73. And we're running down the C&O Canal, and he was in front of me, and I could see him starting to swerve. I mean, he's kind of swerving a little bit, which sometimes you see. It's just people get bored, and you start to just kind of change, make it exciting. Give it up for the Clydesdale. That's right, it's big boys. Yeah. And then I see him just go off the C&O Canal. And if you've ever run on the C&O Canal, there's some pretty treacherous parts. This part in particular was probably about 30 feet down. There were some trees in the way. He caught a tree, an oak tree, and he wrapped his arm around it. And when his body went, because it was a steep incline, this wasn't one you're stopping on, his arm ripped around the bark and it just tore his arm up, and he went down. So me and another guy slid down this hill, and we're dragging him back up onto the path. We're tired. I mean, I'm at this point, it's like 30 something miles. I'm barely keeping my own butt on top of this C&O Canal path. We get him back up there, get him stood up. He's good to go. We take off, and I ended up hearing he ended up dropping it like mile 46 or something like that. I felt so bad, but to me, what he went through, I mean, even at that age, he fell off, got back up, and he battled on for probably another 10 to 12 miles, which was phenomenal. So you're going to see all types of people out there. I've met couples that are in their 70s that have been married, running together for 30 years. I've met literal rocket scientists out there that look like they had long hair and stuff like that. Just you see all types of people out there, and it's definitely something that is I wish more people got to see, because then they wouldn't feel that they should be part of running because they don't fit a body type, or they don't think they look like a runner, or they've always been told you can't run, or you felt that you couldn't run. If I felt that I had to been a distance runner in high school to run when I'm older, I would have never gotten to distance running. I got into distance running because I fell in love with running. I fell in love with the trails, and I didn't care that I was never a distance runner. I just wanted to do the best I could and lose weight and get in shape. And it's not stopped me. Again, I'm just under 6'1". I'm 205 right now. I'm a bigger guy. Even at 195, I'm still a bigger guy. If Goku runner's in here, he'll tell you it's not always easy for the bigger guys. You got a lot more weight to carry around, but it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun. And I went on a tangent there. I probably missed some. If I missed any of your comments, I'm sorry. No, so I could never dunk a basketball, Goku. Could never have that type of ups. Recycling was just said I'm small and slow. Again, it doesn't matter, right? Joe Kern said down to 225, not caught up to you yet. Goal is 215. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I've actually put a little more effort in the last 3 weeks when I found out I was doing this race to kind of lose some. Arlene said, read The Longest Race by Ed Ayers. It's about the JFK. I probably do. I've heard of that. I've never read it. Goku said, yep, here's the Bowsers are running. Same here, Joe. Yeah, I put a little bit more effort into losing some weight now, just because I don't. If I can dump off 10 pounds off my body before I go do this, I'm definitely going to. I've been kind of lazy, I think, with trying to lose the weight. I haven't been. I track my calories and all this stuff, and I haven't been really strict about operating at a caloric deficit, just because I've really not felt the need to really try to drastically continue to lose, since there was nothing really going on. I was going to continue to do it slowly, but now I'm doing it a little more quickly but safely. So I quickly lost, I think, about, I don't know, it depends on the day. I mean, I fluctuate 5 to 6 pounds in a day, so I'm hoping I can get it down probably another 2 to 3 pounds. We'll see. I don't think it really matters though. Kelly said, I second the small and slow. Big Flat said, I never thought I could enjoy running, but I actually look forward to it. What sort of music do you listen to when running? You're gonna have to ask everybody else. I don't run with any music. Kelly said, I don't do music yet, but I'm looking at some bone conducting headphones. Thanks to Neil on here. Yeah, I don't run. I've talked about this a bunch of times. I don't run with any music. First off, like I said, when I'm running, I don't like having irritations. And in the past, I always had just normal earbuds with the cables. I couldn't deal with the cables bouncing around. I sweat a ton. It would get into the earbuds, and it's just an extra irritation to worry about. I don't like having to deal with one not working, or all of a sudden one stops working. But then I also started looking at it as you have to spend a lot of time in your head in ultras, and most of them don't allow you to listen to music. At least the ones I've run. You have to be aware, especially marathons and things like that. So I just got used to running without music, because I figured if I could do all the training without music, I could do a race without it. So Kelly said, I have an idea to help you, John. Totally selfless on my part. Ship all your beer and tacos to me. Why would I give you all my? Are you talking about me, my beer and tacos? No way. I could never, ever give up my beer and tacos. I would definitely share them, though. Absolutely. Frank said, I watched a talk about adventure racers, and evidently their body type is ideal, quite tall and with a surprising high BMI. Yeah, I mean, so that's why a lot of times I run my training runs without eating beforehand. I don't talk about that a lot, just because I don't want everyone to go, that's what I should do, because I know some people are going to deal with some issues with that if they're not eating beforehand, but I know that I can do it. because I've been doing it for years, just to put myself in that caloric deficit. I have enough body fat that I could probably run to Miami from Virginia, and still have plenty to to go around. Um, so yeah, I have a lot of friends that are adventure trail racers. Shockingly, I don't run with any of them. They like doing the biking, running, and canoeing and stuff like that, and that's just too much for me. It's the reason I don't do triathlons. I just can't deal with all that. I have a hard enough time with running and taking away time from the family. If I had to do other things, it's just, it's a pain. It's definitely a pain. So would I like to do one? I think it'd be awesome. Absolutely. But I just can't. I can't get into any more stuff. I got enough stuff going on. YouTube is enough. YouTube and running, that is enough. You guys and my running, that's all I need. Big Flat said, I got a pair of Power Buds. They really good, not irritating. Love listening to Simple Minds. Yeah, I'm just afraid if I get too used to listening to music when I'm in a race and I don't have it, I'm gonna suffer. Just gonna be like, I wish I could just listen to music. I don't ever let myself enjoy it, so I don't miss it. Joe Kern said, I just bought the headphones. Great for running, not great for mowing grass. I listen to podcasts or books or tape. I would love to listen to podcasts. I could probably do that running. Mickey said, I've always listened to music when I weight train, but not always when I run. I used to listen to, now, I hate this phone. I used to listen to music all the time when weightlifting. Now that's different. Like it helped me with the motivation. So definitely love listening to music when I lift. A lot of AC/DC, Metallica, things like that. Kelly said the bone conducting one, Joe. I really, it's more the podcast I would use them for. So it's good to hear that they work great. Keep bringing up the menu on me. Any problem running? I'm always afraid that I'm going to sweat too much and it's going to ruin them, and then they're not covered. I'm just wasting money buying things that are getting wet. Recycle on Wednesday said, I don't listen to music either because I'm not good at multitasking. I got lost and I got lost and thought and fell off a sidewalk this year. I'm sorry for laughing, but that's just funny. I will do that sometimes too. I get lost in thought. Um, that's funny. Anthony said, Goggins says you got to self motivate. What happens when the music stops? Yeah, I mean, this is the way I've always thought. I didn't get it from Goggins, but when you go down to my basement and like you look at my treadmill, I had two treadmills, they faced the wall. And people were like, why didn't you buy a TV? I'm like, because I would be too tempted to turn on the TV and turn my mind off and then get used to just watching television while I'm running. And then when I got to go run 50 miles and I'm going through a hard spot, my body would be conditioned to want music or TV or something to kind of take my mind off stuff. Like I had to be able to own, like I said, and wear that pain. I had to be able to deal with that in my brain. I think that's a huge part of ultra marathons is really being able to handle that pain and the self doubt and to own it and not try to drown it out with something else. Like you have to understand who you are. I mean, there's been, like I've said in races, that it's really tested who I am. I have found out who I am. I've had some very hard conversations with myself in those moments. A couple of videos ago, I talk about my first race and kind of and I didn't even go into the full details of how down I was and how much of a failure I was going to feel like with so many people that came out to support me. Like it was a breaking moment, but getting through that changed me as a person. And it sounds silly, but it really did. And I don't know if I had other coping mechanisms. Like if you're allowed to have the music while you're out there, then more power to you. But most of them don't allow you to. I won't say most because I don't know that for sure. But any ones I've races I've run, they said no music. Kelly said, second Wednesday, you cracked me up. I wish you could live close by. Long runs would fly by with you. Yeah, it would be great if we could all go on long runs. That'd be fantastic. Big Fly said, come on, buy a pair. I sweat big time, but the buds have, they've gotten better, so I might have to try out a pair. Goku Runner said, Jaybird Vistas for the gym and Aeropex Aftershocks for running. All right, there you go. He's got two different kinds for working out and running. And I know he's sweating in them. And if he says they're good to go for sweat, then they're good down there in Texas. Kelly said, I went for a quick run Sunday, leaving my husband to unload hay for my horses. As I ran, I thought this is where runners get in trouble. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Honestly, drowning out pain is cool. LOL. Yeah, yeah, definitely is. I like being able to mentally handle it and not drown it out. But sometimes I really wish I had something to drown it out. Believe me, I don't think using music is a bad thing. I don't look down on anybody who does that. That's not why I'm saying this. It's just me. It's my personal choice that if I'm in a moment and I need to be able to dig deep, that I don't want to have been used to having music to help me with that, just because, especially if I can't have it. Arlene said, I often listen to music. Years ago, I was in the Army and we would run to cadence. It sometimes helps you pick up cadence. Absolutely. My daughter runs to it too. She runs with me and she'll run with music. I'm like, what do you do? I can't even talk to you. I'll still talk to her, even if she doesn't hear me. I did a video where we're running, we're doing a 5K, and she has music playing, and I'm running with a camera, a big old rig with a camera. I don't think most people understood, but I'm running that, like I'm breathing. I sound like a weirdo breathing into the running with the camera rig and watching the time. So I'm running down. You only think what it looked like to people who were looking at me. I had this camera, and I got my watch, and I'm running down. It was funny. I don't even know what I was talking about, but Jeremy's here. Run with Brad's here. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Run with Brad said, you make me want more gray in my beard. Yeah, I got plenty to go around. You want some? I'll be Santa Claus here pretty soon. I got last little strip hold on here. You know, the funny thing is I'll get accused. You know, YouTube's awesome because everyone thinks because you put videos up that, you know, it's just you're fair game to make whatever comment they want. So I made a video years ago where I discussed, you know, why I have all this gray hair. And I've actually been accused where people say you could tell he dyes his beard, and I'm like, why would I dye my beard like this? Like all the men in my family, my uncle, my dad, my grandpa, all kind of went gray in this Wolfman Jack pattern, which I like. I mean, it could be worse. I mean, I could have gone completely bald, and I got a full head of hair at 44. So, you know, it could have done worse. But my mom's hair went completely white at like 38. It's just a hereditary thing. Um, but I like it. I like it. Definitely makes me look a lot older than I am. I look a lot younger when I shave my beard off. But it's getting thick now. Starting to curl like a Viking. We could catch up on some. Goku with Aftershock. Would you recommend? Joe Kern said, I do listen to music. It's because of the cadence. Yeah, it definitely helps with cadence. Absolutely. I think if I was going to run a 5K and they would let me run it, or 10K, listening to music would definitely help. I would do that in a second. Run with Brad said, once I started YouTube, I stopped listening to music while I run. Run with Brad, haha, take it. Joe Kern said, I'm not saying that I sneaked earbuds under my headband for a few races. Oh, yeah, they're going to definitely. They're definitely, yeah. Unless somebody reports you, I don't know what they would do. I've seen people definitely get yelled at. Definitely. What in the world are these guys doing? Oh, there's a bunch of kids walking around me like they're looking for somebody, and I go and look over. There's another car just like mine that they're looking for. Yeah, pretty sneaky. Frank said, "How could you dye your beard like that?" I don't know. People make accusations. I don't know. I guess they thought it looked too perfect, which it's not. I got this sun coming in. It's actually kind of funny. Somebody made a comment, and maybe it's still there. Somebody said something. Well, it said it must be easy when you have like a $200 hair, $400 haircut. I'm like, I go to a barber shop. I pay $15 for my haircut. I know you're gonna. It's a big shocker, huh? What would a $400 haircut look like? That's crazy. You get accused of all kinds of stuff. You know, you're on the internet. Joe Kern said, I saw your video from 5 years ago. Less salt, more pepper. Yeah, I definitely had a lot more pepper then. Definitely. Thanks for your service, Arlene. Yep, thank you. Big Flats, sorry I sound like I'm a salesman, but I have Power Beats Pro. I sweat buckets. Had them for 18 months or so. No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, it's always good to get recommendations from people, especially when you're spending money on stuff you don't want to lose out on and have to throw away because you ruined them. Arlene said you need a hippie headband and then you definitely look like a grizzly alternate. That's right. That's why I'm gonna keep the beard. People always ask me if it's hotter with running with the beard. And I'm like, no, it's actually cooler. When this beard fills with sweat, and that's kind of gross to think about, and the air blows into it, it's like my face gets cold. It actually does the opposite of what you think it does. And plus, you're 17 times less likely to be attacked by a bear when you have a beard. You can Google that. Makes it the same as a $15 cut, exactly. $400 haircut, except you're not paying somebody's car payment for them with one haircut. Cut your own hair like me and Brad. I did. What do you guys think I did during a pandemic? I was cutting my own hair. I was cutting my own sides. That big ridiculous mop on top of my head was the part that I didn't know how to cut, so I didn't cut it. That's why it got so long. Joe Kern said, "Yeah, you obviously haven't seen him. He looks like a grizzly without the headband." The tattoo, that is the tattoo for endorphins, runner's high. Essentially, I got like 5, 6 years ago. So that's the chemical compound there for that. And I didn't even think about it. This is the hand that I pay with everything, and so this tattoo has made me talk about running way more than I already do. People always get the 30 second because I can talk. You guys know that. When I get asked this, I don't think they know they're gonna get the elevator speech on why I have it. Then they're sorry they asked. Most people think it's because of drugs. They think it's a drug compound. I'm like, yeah, come on, come on. Goku says, I think you just have to be monetized to stream to your iPhone. Yeah, I don't know. I've been monetized since being on YouTube. I had already made all of the stats before they changed the rules on it. So I don't know what you have to stream on your iPhone because I have an iPhone. That's what I'm streaming on right now. So I'm trying to keep up here. The chat got away from me because it keeps disappearing. Roman Brad, how many subs do you have to live stream with the phone? Yeah, I don't know. I think Goku's probably right. Yes, I've just videoed myself cutting my own hair. Joe Kern said, shave the head every day and the beard will never. Yeah, I've never shaved I haven't shaved my head since college. I didn't shave it. I just buzzed it down. When I used to have like hair down to my shoulders in college, and I cut it all off. Kelly said, seriously, I'm sure we all have images in our mind of what people look like. Yeah, just so you guys know, most of you I have not seen. So unless you have a very specific, kind of gender, uh, a name that has typically been after a certain gender, like I don't know who anybody is. And so when people start describing themselves, it is quite interesting to me. I'm like, oh, I had no clue. I don't even. And sometimes you just your mind fills in the blank. You look at a username and your mind just goes, okay, this is probably a woman for whatever reason. I don't know. And then you find out that it's a man. Okay, like it's just weird to me. You guys can see me, but I can't see you. So when people don't have pictures, it makes it really hard. Some people have pictures on Strava, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's what they look like. So to me, like when I do videos, I always try to just picture I'm talking to a person, but it is weird on my side because I don't know what it looks like or their genders for the most part. The Flowbee, My janitor at work used one. The attachment fell off, leaving a perfect circle shaped right into his head. Joker, and picture a bear with calf sleeves and a fanny pack. That is a. Can you just shave your bib number into your chest hair? That's what I should do. Recycle and Wednesday. You don't know what a Flowbee is? That was from the, what was it, the 80s, late 80s, where it's a vacuum basically piece that has different sized attachments, and you could just vacuum your hair in it, and it'll cut it at whatever length that attachment is. Yeah, Kelly, if you tell Kelly what to buy, she'll buy all of it for everybody. She buys whatever. She definitely got on the calf sleeve train. She's never turning back. That's so weird. What's behind me? That is an ice cream truck. You mean what's beyond that? That is a soccer field or football field, depending on where you live in the country. Everybody's just coming around me right now. Hey, Toby Runs, good to see you. Welcome to the. Hey, Neil, what's going on, everybody? How they don't even have the music playing. How are you gonna be the ice cream man with no music? They're just sitting there now. Recycling Wednesday. I've never seen an ice cream man van that wasn't white. Yeah, you see all kinds of different. So some of them are pretty sketchy. That one, that's a Blue Bunny one. So that's like a legit nice one. Some of them look like somebody grabbed a van and they spray painted and stuck ice cream stickers on the side. And I'm like, I don't know if I get some ice cream. I don't have cash on me. I don't carry any cash. I definitely don't need ice cream. And we had an older gentleman that for years in a neighborhood had one of the short bus ice cream trucks. It was awesome. Everybody loved him. He drove around the neighborhoods for years. He was awesome, but he did it out of a yellow school bus. To Big Flat, what technically is a drug? I don't know. I don't know. Mukbang some ice cream. Yeah, that's just like a quick random, like, go buy a bunch of ice cream and sit here and eat it. Ugh, that'd tear my stomach up. Yeah, that's a Blue Bunny ice cream truck. That's a nice one too. That's a real nice one. Arlene M said, my picture here is of Mary Pickford. I've been told I look like her years ago. Yeah, I just assumed that wasn't you because you'd have to be like 150 years old. Look, from what I can see, like, it's really small. This looks like somebody took a picture back in like 1860. Recycling says that's so interesting. Yeah, we've gone off the rails here. Joe's description. Yeah, I don't even know how. It would be great to see pictures of everybody. This is the kind of that ruins it. Have you guys ever seen people on radio? When you finally see people on radio, if you've listened to them for years, and when you finally see them, you're like, no, you're not allowed to look like that because you don't look anything about like what my mind thinks you look like. Kelly said, I love my calf sleeve. Seriously, that ice cream truck is teasing me. Yeah, now I'm kind of wishing I had money. Like, there's all kinds of kids over there, and I'm not sure why he didn't hang out. I guess they're all in practice. He's got to come back later. Um, yeah, I can definitely. I want ice cream. My stomach just doesn't need it. Doesn't need it right now. I haven't even eaten dinner yet. Well, I guess I ate earlier, a little bit early. I had. This is my favorite thing in the world. I'll tell you guys this: the Chia Banana Boost from Tropical Smoothie is my all-time favorite. It's all I ever get. That's what I had right for lunch, probably about 1:30. That's the last thing I had. Cancel that. Goku says, I personally have a six-pack and 8% body fat. You have eight. Are you joking, Goku? 8% body fat is I don't want to throw you under the bus here, but you'd be super ripped. That's what he just wants everybody to picture everybody. Yeah, I really don't have gray hair. I have a nice head full of luscious dark hair. Meet the 25-year-old me. I've been growing gray since I was 15, so even at 15, I had kind of salt and pepper on the side. Yeah, but that's right. I only have 6% body fat. I'm really getting blown out from that sun. It's shining on my face. Everyone's gonna lie now. Everyone's gonna. Oh, crying out loud! All right, just imagine your head. I can't think about anything else now, Goku. I can't think about anything else than you and your 8% body fat. Joe said they should have lasagna at aid stations. I don't disagree with that. Don't throw me under the ice cream bus. That's one of the things I love about the 24-hour race. They put all kinds of stuff on the table. They got pizza and all kinds of stuff. And lasagna is a good one. I would eat lasagna. That used to be my pre-race meal before the Marine Corps Marathon every year. My mother-in-law would make lasagna for me, and I love it. Yeah, there's no rules in lasagna. I've taken out cheeseburgers. There's no rules in lasagna. There's no rules in ultras when it comes to you can eat whatever you want. I've actually had a cheeseburger. You can have whatever you want. I've had pizza, all kinds of stuff. There's no rules. If your stomach can handle it, if you're ready to deal with the consequences, if you don't know what it's going to do, then yeah, definitely eat whatever you want. Well, oh man, look, we've gone way over. There's no rules in lasagna. I'm quoted now. I actually like that. That was a good slip. There's no rules in lasagna. I need a shirt with that on it now. You guys are gonna have to remind me of that because I want that's too good. Oh, crying out loud! This was funny. Kelly said, "Hey John, how's the runner's box deodorant? I have not put the runner's box deodorant. I've used the sunscreen. I've eaten one of the bars, and I broke one of my rules. I went out to go run a trail run the other day with my daughter, and I was going to do 7 miles, and it ended up being a little over 5 because I ate that bar beforehand, and it was almost an emergency. So again, no new stuff, but you have to try stuff on training. And I don't know if it was that bar, but I'm thinking it was the bar. It was the walnut and cherry bar. It tasted like pure walnuts. I don't know. I don't know why that would bother me, but it it wasn't good. I know you didn't. You asked me about the deodorant, but I have not put it on yet. Arlene said, "Will everything at the aid stations be in plastic bags because of COVID?" We're gonna have a briefing. I think actually tomorrow, a Zoom briefing or something like that, where we have to watch. So I'm not sure how they're gonna do all of the food because typically it's just out on like 3 or 4 long tables and people just walk at it buffet style. I don't think we can do that this time, so it'll be interesting to see. But I will film it. I'm gonna film all this as much as I'm gonna vlog as much as this as I can, as much as my brain will allow me to do. I'll be limited to the 2 batteries, so I'll be selective about mile updates, how I'm feeling, and then kind of pre-race and all that stuff. So I just need to hire a film crew to come follow me. Hey Goku, what are you doing on the 19th? You can fly here and just film me the whole time. Goku Runner said ramen and instant mashed potatoes are gourmet at our ultra marathons. I love ramen noodles. Oh, I love that stuff. I definitely have had mashed potato. Uh, what do you call them? Burritos. Just like I've had, you can roll everything up in a tortilla. I've had mashed potato burritos though. Recycle Wednesday said both are gourmet in my apartment. Absolutely. I still have I have a huge packet of ramen noodles at home. I love them. I ate them in college. I don't eat them all the time, but I do love. I'll cook 2 packets of those and tear it up. I love that. It's not just gourmet at the race. It's gourmet at Recycling Wednesday's house. Roman Brad is out. I'm getting ready. Goku said I would love to film with you. Yeah, it would be. You know how awesome that would be to have somebody film for you. I've never had that. So, I've been a vlogger, and I'll be vlogging. I'll be doing it the whole time. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. So, all right, everybody, I'm gonna hop off. But 80 minutes and 10 seconds. It was a dumpster fire today. I was 10 minutes late. Sorry about all that. Time just got away from me, and the family stuff is took over, so I forgot. But I appreciate all of you hopping on here and hanging out with me. This has been a lot of fun. Laughed a lot more than I thought I was going to today because I was rushing to get here, and it was touch and go at the beginning. I thought I was gonna have to go because it was only like me and Frank here. Um, I appreciate all. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way out, everybody. I appreciate it. I got 12 more days. I'm excited. I'm super excited. So I'm going into planning mode. So I might have a couple videos coming out showing you what I'm packing for this, what my plan is. I'm going to talk you all through this stuff, exactly everything that I do to prepare for these things. So I'll be talking about all of that with you guys. If you've got any secret tips, let me know. Like mashed potato burritos. And remember, the most important thing you learned today: there are no rules in lasagna. All right, everybody? Peace out. Now they're going to do the awkward thing where I try to figure out how to close this out. See ya.